Hello, Chicago area Christian schools. My name is David Mustard, and I am looking forward to joining you and talking through just a few things as it relates not only to Christian education, but what that means for our Christian lives. I'm recording this little video right now during Advent, and I love Advent. And I love it because in some Christian traditions, Advent is not as much about the birth of Jesus that first time, like 2,000 years ago, but it's actually about the awaiting of the advent of the moment where Christ will return. There's a moment in time where we recognize that Christ has come, but there's still a lot of stuff going wrong in our world around us. And yet we wait with anticipation to that time when Jesus will return and all things will be made new. We also recognize in Advent that in the midst of that time difference between when he came the first time 2,000 years ago and as we await his return, we have a responsibility. As Jesus walked along the shores of the Sea of Galilee in his ministry, he looked out and he saw people and he said, "Come, follow me." Jesus, just like his Father had done thousands of years before him, as he looked down and as he called a man named Abraham, and as Abraham grew up and his family went down to Egypt, and as then they were enslaved for centuries down in Egypt, a man named Moses came out of Egypt with the people of God. And God said to them, and Jesus will say to his disciples too, "I want to make of you something unique." And to God's people there in the wilderness, he says, "I want to make of you a royal priesthood." Jesus, through his death and resurrection, welcomed us into that same invitation. And it is echoed there in the New Testament too, that we are a people who are hearkened to be disciples of Jesus and formed and shaped into a royal priesthood. You know what? It doesn't matter how old you are or what degrees you have or what job you have or what school you go to. Anyone can be welcomed into that royal priesthood because of the death and resurrection of Jesus and the Holy Spirit which indwells in us. And we are then hearkened to be a kind of people that between the moment of his birth 2,000 years ago and as we await his return, we are to be a people who are to transform this world from the chaos in which it is in into a place that looks a little bit more like heaven. And we do so as members of a royal priesthood. I want to explore that role with you as we get to dig into the scriptures and the story to which God has been writing since the dawn of creation, and that he wants us to join and live as members together. Hey, I'm looking forward to see you. Thanks so much for inviting me down. I'll see you in February.